Have for you right now is the latest coming in from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. It's a fresh wave of protests that currently are being witnessed in different parts of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. A massive outcry, massive backlash is what Shehbaz Sharif government is really facing. It has erupted against Pakistan's federal government in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. People have taken to the streets against Shehbaz Sharif and Asim Munir, accusing Islamabad of actually trying to silence voices questioning the country's economic decline. The latest protests were triggered by a decision to reserve 12 seats in the 45-member Legislative Assembly for refugees living outside Kashmir in Pakistan. The JAAC has opposed the move, arguing that it undermines local representation and has demanded that the arrangement be scrapped. Now, this fresh wave of unrest has swept through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir after the government banned Joint Awami Action Committee, which is a civil society alliance that has led several protests over economic and political issues in recent years. And we have some big news coming in at this point in time. More than 50 British parliamentarians have written to the UK government expressing concern over the situation in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, citing reports of a continued lockdown, communication blackout, arrest and rising tensions in the region. Imran Hussain, chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Kashmir, has said that the letter to Foreign Secretary has garnered support from over 50 MPs and peers. The lawmakers, in fact, have urged the UK government to use all appropriate diplomatic channels to encourage de-escalation. Let's go across to my colleague Ankit, who is joining us live right now for more on this. Ankit, can you help us understand how is the situation right now in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir? Which are the specific regions that are witnessing protests? And also now the latest is that British MPs have now written to UK government on this issue.
Yes, absolutely. There is a massive outrage and the protest which has interrupted across the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, whether it is Mirpur or Bimbar, Rawalakot, Muzaffarabad, and the other parts like Neelam Valley also. Neelam Valley also is witnessing a massive protest against the Pakistani government, Pakistani army. We have seen in UK also how the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir people have protest against the Pakistan. They have chanted Pakistan Murdabad, Pakistani media Murdabad and Pakistani army Murdabad outside the Pakistani embassy in UK. What we are learning is that there has been tear gas shells firing, open firing on the people of Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which clearly shows that human rights violations in POK. What we are learning is that more than 30 people have been died. 200 of them are being injured due to the open firing on the people which were on the roads against the Pakistani government and the Pak Rangers and Pakistani army. This clearly shows that how human rights are being violated in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. They were demanding for the electricity which was generated in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. They were demanding for the subsidy in that, not only in electricity, water, rice, wheat. There is a massive inflation in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. The MPs from the UK have written a letter. There are more than 40
right.
MPs.
Ankit, I'm just interrupting you there, requesting you to please stay on with us. We have retired Major General Rajan Kochhar joining us on the broadcast this afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. Your first thought on what we are witnessing in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, the protests that are currently underway. In fact, they are intensifying almost on a daily basis against Shehbaz Sharif and Munir.
If you've been observing, this is not the first time the protests have taken place in Pak-occupied Kashmir, because this has been a regular occurrence there, and the police as well as the military, both authorities are trying to subdue the dissent of the people there, because look at the way that state is being governed by the government of Pakistan, there is hardly any regional representation and regional power given to the people of POK, and everything is controlled from Islamabad. The Punjabi hold is very, very strong in this area because remember, this area has got a lot of potential of minerals, and a large number of contracts are actually awarded to these people, these Punjabis, who get all those lucrative contracts in this place. And there is a large unemployment also. Poverty is on the rise. Basic amenities are not there. There are power cuts, electricity and water both. And if you see the comparison of the rate per unit of electricity, if you see POK and if you see the other states of Pakistan,
Right.
you will see everything is very, very expensive here. So people are sensing that they are being differentiated from
Right.
the rest of Pakistan, and that is why these protests are taking place.
All right, so thank you very much for speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. And viewers, we have some more breaking inputs coming in, as my colleague Ankit also told us just a short while ago that 30 people have been killed. Pak is on boil, specifically Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and 30 people have been killed as tensions escalate. Shehbaz Sharif and his army clearly crushing the dissenters, and question is being asked, is there no democracy in Munir's Pakistan? Let me go back to my colleague Ankit, who continues to be with us at this point in time. Ankit, you told us that 30 people have lost their life in these protests.
Yes, absolutely. 30 people have lost their life. More than 200 people have been injured. The trigger point is the Ravla court, where from this protest started. We have seen how Pakistani Rangers and the Pakistani army opens fire on the protesters who were staging protests against the Pak government. And we have seen in the UK also the visuals are coming where outside the Pakistani embassy there was a massive protest, and they were chanting against the Pakistani government, Pakistani media for not reporting the actual ground report from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and the Pakistani army. This clearly shows that how Pakistan-occupied Kashmir people are very angry with the current government, whether it is the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir government or the Islamabad. This clearly shows that there is a massive
Right, Ankit,
protest.
interrupting you once again, please stay on with us. We have retired Major Samar Paltur joining us on the broadcast. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. Your first thoughts on the visuals we are getting from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, the protests that are intensifying, and also now about 50 British MPs have written to UK Parliament on this particular issue.
Well, you see, this is something which was, it was waiting to erupt, and it is mainly because of the Awami Committee and the 12 seats that are there for the refugees, the allotment of the seats. So probably with the number of years that have gone by and the lack of development and, the discrimination and lack of facilities, basically, the basic needs, like medical facilities. Anybody getting ill, they have to go through checkpoints, they have to seek permissions. Only then they get to reach Islamabad and go to a reputed hospital. They do not have electricity during day. And moreover, their industry is not there. And with the inflation and the fuel prices going up and restriction on fuel, there is no movement anymore. The tourism sector has taken a hit over there. So basically, Pakistan has nothing to offer. Secondly, it is Azad Kashmir. What is the definition of Azad Kashmir? If it is so-called Azad Kashmir, it should be free from the Pakistan army. What is it why is the Pakistan army present there? Why are the Rangers present there? There are reports that the POJK police has been arguing and confronting the Rangers to not act to violence. It is the Rangers who've been opening fire at the crowds. The police was trying to do the damage control. But eventually, sadly, the police is also hand in glove. and there have been deaths. There have been undeclared figures. The Pakistan media claims just 17 fatalities, whereas the actual figures are actually much higher.
Right.
There has been internet blackout. So I think it's just a matter of time. Slowly and steadily, the truth will come out, the videos will come out, and it is a similar pattern to how they massacred Tehreek-e-Ladakh party members. How
Right.
they were massacred in Punjab. This is exactly now what they're going to do over here.
Right.
And it is time that the human rights, the NGOs and the United Nations and the human rights bodies, where
Right.
are they sleeping now? Where are they? That is my big question.
Yes.
That when anything happened in Kashmir, they were the first ones to reach the spot. But now that all this is going on, I do not see any Western media pointing this issue out.
Right.
I do not see the presence of any Western media and POJK.
Right.
So I feel sad with the double standards that
Right.
the Americans and the West are having with the
Right.
Pakistan military establishment.
That's a pertinent point you have raised, Major Samar Paltur. Appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. Let me also get in a word from retired Major General A.K. Sivachu, who's also live with us on the broadcast. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. If you heard what Major Samar Paltur had to say, I mean, it's a pertinent point because what we are witnessing right now is, quite dramatic. The kind of visuals that are coming in, stones being pelted, the people who are raising their voice against what's really happening with them, who are on the streets, they are being targeted, they are being fired upon.
As far as the POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan is concerned, it has been illegally occupied by Pakistan since 1947, and they have been considered as a second-class citizen. There are no human rights which have been followed in POJK, both in Gilgit-Baltistan. The people are now fed up with the administration. There is huge corruption. Administration is totally, you can say, not existing there. Today, the people are on the streets in Muzaffarabad, Mirpur, Jangat, Dadrial, Bagh, Kotli, and also Pakistan Punch. People are doing chakka jam and shutter down. The slogans are, ये जो वर्दी है, ये जो दहशतगर्दी है, इसके पीछे वर्दी है. People don't want to stay in Pakistan. They want to join India. The reason is simple, because, that the progress which Indian Jammu and Kashmir has made has shown them that where they are and where India, Jammu and Kashmir is there. So now they have realized that the Pakistan administration has been always fooling them, and they have been generally been ignored by the Pakistan administration.
Right.
Remember the main river, which is Neelam Nadi, which is a main river as far as Gilgit-Baltistan and POJK concerned, it is
Right.
diverted toward Punjab. The second issue, the other is Mangla Dam, where the electricity is produced. First it goes to Punjab, then come back to POJK, and
Right.
with almost 10 times the rate. So there is a political instability, economic crisis, and terrorism increasing manifold. There are chances of Pakistan breaking into
Right.
four. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa,
Right.
then Balochistan, Sindh, and Punjab.
Right.
POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan will join India.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. Let's now move on, viewers, and shift our focus to another big story of the day. And this is about the Trinamool Congress. Mamata Banerjee's TMC is imploding. First, we saw rebellion in the assembly that was led by Rituparna Banerjee, who's claiming the support of at least 61 of TMC's MLAs. Now, here in the national capital, what we are witnessing is that there is a rebel camp that is led by Kakoli Ghosh, who used to be a loyalist of Mamata Banerjee, and she is now leading a rebel camp against Mamata Banerjee. So from the assembly, the rebellion has moved to the parliament as well. In fact, earlier there was a press conference as well that was held by Kalyan Banerjee, TMC MP, on what really is happening in the national capital, and he in fact accused the rebel camp of betraying Mamata Banerjee. He called them desperate, and he also held BJP responsible for what is really happening within the TMC right now. He said this is an attempt by BJP to weaken Mamta's TMC. And earlier, in fact, we also got a reaction from Kakuli Ghosh, who, in fact, needs 19 of TMC's 28 Lok Sabha MPs to claim a 2/3 majority. And sources say around 18 to 20 MPs are actually with the camp that's being led by Kakuli Ghosh. Listen in.
I'm being joined by Kakuli Ghosh Zossidar. Ma'am, what prompted you to take this decision?
You see, the absolute inactivity of the government towards maintaining employment status, to uplift educational status, for investment so that the state moves forward. These are issues which have been bothering the state and its people for few years now, and people have left the state to find employment elsewhere. Now we were working with the expectation that this government, the past government, will be working towards betterment of the people, because for 35 years we were under misrule of the left front. There was no development in the state of West Bengal, and we were expecting that we will move forward. But actually nothing happened, and you have seen how in the film industry, in the education sector, in the health sector, things have taken place which are deplorable. So against that we are giving our opinion.
Ma'am, it's a new kind of politics that the people of West Bengal are seeing. So what message would you like to give to the people of West Bengal?
Does the people do not know that we are trying to even risk our lives and character in politics, that we are changing our political character, that we want to work for the people and the betterment of the lives of the people and also the national security. We are trying to concentrate on that, so people realize that we are working for them.
You just heard Kakuli Ghosh, and now there is another MP of TMC. I'm talking about Sukhendu Shekhar Roy, TMC's Rajya Sabha MP for about 15 odd years. He, in fact, has been party's longest serving whip in the upper house of the parliament as well. He's somebody who really helped TMC, strengthen itself. From 1998, he has also been very, very close to Mamta Banerjee's core group. He also edited the party's mouthpiece, Jago Bangla, and yesterday morning, viewers, he walked into the parliament and submitted his resignation letter. Listen in to what he had to say about why he did so and what happens next.
Former MP, former Trinamool MP, Sukhendu Shekhar Roy. Mr. Roy, it's an important moment, not just for you, but for politics in Bengal. You've just resigned your Rajya Sabha seat and left the Trinamool Congress.
Yes.
Why?
I have already spoken to media that since its inception in the year 1998, the only program of the party was, there was no ideology as such, but one of the main program of the party was to oust the CPIM government and to capture power. And after capturing power with the huge mandate from the people, the party has started ultimately in a position where rampant corruption started. Number two, abysmal failure in controlling the atrocities on women, betterment of the industrial situation in the state, huge unemployment. All these serious problems were not addressed properly, although there was industrial summit every year almost. These are the main reasons that the people which brought our party to power in 2011, the same people have rejected us in 2016.
Why did you wish to resign now? Why leave now?
Because I do not want to remain with the party, because I cannot be a party to the sin and crime committed by several functionaries of the party in power. There are a lot of honest people, good people, very good number of workers who are totally detached from all this nonsense and corruption and all this and that. But there was no voice. They did not have any voice to ventilate their grievances in any forum of the party. Even the MPs, other functionaries, senior functionaries of the party, they did not have the opportunity to caution the leadership that something is going wrong.
When you say leadership, do you mean the Chief Minister, former Chief Minister, or are you referring to her nephew?
I am referring to the two persons who are at the helm of the affairs, who are controlling the party and the government. Now, you see, meetings were held at regular intervals, but there was no discussion on any issue. Only some sermons and instructions were given to the attendees that this will have to be done, this will have, that will, some programs.
Now, viewers, we have some big news coming in at this point in time. What really went wrong with Didi's TMC is the big question that many are asking. What really has changed for the party since the results came out? Now, top rebel camp sources have told Times Now that rebels actually were given no role at all in the decision-making process. And there were a couple of other reasons as well why they became extremely unhappy and they took this decision of actually rebelling against Mamta Banerjee. Let's go across to my colleague Hridita joining us live right now for more on this. Hridita, give us more details. What have you learned from sources? What is the reason behind the rebellion the TMC is facing today?
Well, absolutely. You see, the point or the foundation of the problem is completely Abhishek Banerjee, who was heading the parliamentary wing, and this entire protest is from the legislative party to the parliamentary wing. It is completely against Abhishek Banerjee and the kind of corruption that he was running inside the party, and how Mamta Banerjee had actually lost all its grip and power to control her nephew. So, that sources have told Times Now earlier also that how it was unreachable, how Abhishek Banerjee was unreachable for even the MPs. In fact, they had to go through the medium of IPAC to just be in conversation with him. How at the Godrej waterside MPs, MLAs had to go wait.
Asking, how was this even allowed by Mamta Banerjee? Why could she not really see all of this when it was happening? Thank you very much, Hridita, for the moment for joining us with your inputs on the story. More breaking news coming in right now. Rebel TMC leaders June Malia and Shuli Saha, along with Dev, attended an administrative meeting chaired by West Bengal Chief Minister Shuvendu Adhikari in Kolaghat on Tuesday morning. The high-level review meeting covered East Midnapur, West Midnapur and Jhargram districts, involving district officials, police and people's representatives as well. Let's go across to my colleague Sabyasachi joining us live right now for more on this. Sabyasachi, give us more details as far as this crucial meeting is concerned.
This meeting, there are one meeting happened in Kolkata in East Midnapur, where Shuvendu Adhikari has been holding this district administrative meeting, where the member of parliaments, the legislators are being invited. Now, the entire controversy surrounding Trinamool Congress started from these meetings, because the Trinamool Congress was not happy why Kakali Ghosh Dostidar went for the meeting with Shuvendu Adhikari, and now Mr. Dev, who's a member of parliament, went for this meeting with Shuvendu Adhikari, and also a member of parliament from the Trinamool Congress, June Malia, and legislator Shuli Saha was also present in this meeting. Now, here in the national capital, some of the MPs have went back to Kolkata and other parts of West Bengal for administrative related meeting, but some of the MPs are still stationed here. Kakali Ghosh Dostidar is still at her residence. Now, the sources say that there could be another round of meeting of the member of parliament today in the national capital to chalk out further plans, because they are extremely confident that they have signature of around 20 MPs with them. But what the sources tell us that there has been also the Mamata Banerjee faction also have been reaching out to the rebel MPs, so that is the reason they want to keep all the MPs together.
All right, thank you very much, Sabyasachi, for the moment for joining us with your inputs on the story. With this, we'll slip into a very short break. More updates on the other side. Stay with us.